Here's a Silicon Gaming Odyssey slot machine. I'm going to outline the process of how to do a safe clear and change the games that are on the main selection screen, set limits. So the first thing you'd want to do is you'd want to turn off the machine. Either unplug the machine, or you can lift the currency column door latch, open the door, and turn off the power switch, which is located right in here. Next thing you need to do is open the belly door. There's a latch on the right hand side. So you'd lift up that latch, slide open the belly door, pull out the hopper. On this machine, the e-box in the back, there's no cover on the e-box, which I recommend for home use because it gives you much easier access. It also helps with the cooling of the computer components that are in there. Let me get a little light in here. If you have a cover on there, you probably need to pull out the hopper assembly. And the way you do that is you'd have to hold the latches on sides and pull the entire assembly off the slides, and you'd have to unplug the plugs going to the hopper assembly. But on this machine, we don't have to do that because we have full access. So on these machines, there's in the computer box, you have 3 boards. On the left, you have the peripheral memory board. The board just to the right of that with a ribbon cable on it, that's the SCSI controller. That goes to the hard drive down on the bottom there. And on the far right is your video board. On the Odyssey, there are 2 different types of peripheral memory boards. This is a Type 1 Type 1 memory board. So to start the safe restore on here, the safe clear, there's a bank of dip switches in the back. You can see better when I don't have my hand in the way. That red bank of switches, what you need to do is you need to flip the 4th switch from the top to the opposite position. So I'm going to use a little screwdriver here, and I'm going to flip the 4th switch from the top to the opposite position. We can leave the machine just like this for now. Now if you have a Type 2 memory board, I'll show you this. You might have it like this, so it'll be in here like this. On these boards, it's the 4th switch from the bottom that you need to flip to the opposite direction. Also make sure that you don't bump this switch. If you bump it, just make sure it's always in the up position. Otherwise your machine probably will not boot. So once you have that switch 4 in the opposite position, just turn on your machine. Wait for it to boot up. So what we're watching for here is the boot up sequence, which happens on the diagnostic displays here. So when the machine does start booting, you'll see a 411. Now this is normal on the video display. Sometimes you'll see this, sometimes you won't. This is just garbage in the video RAM. That's normal on startup because it hasn't gotten to the clear point yet. So you may see this even during normal startup, even if you're not doing a full safe clear. That will clear up once the game starts booting. So you'll see it's going through the boot up process here. It'll go to 999, then it'll go to 4000. When it gets to 4000, that means the safe clear has completed. So what you want to do is you want to shut the machine off. And now you want to return that switch 4 back to its original position. So we're going to go back in here. Switch 4 back to its original position. Use a screwdriver, and you use a fingernail if you can. So once you've done that, you're pretty much done inside the machine. So you can put the hopper assembly back in. Slide this back into place. It's much easier with 2 hands. So you close up the belly door, and then we're going to turn on the machine. So again, got to wait up for the boot up process. Tools out of the way that I was using. So Odyssey usually takes 2 to 3 minutes to boot up. So wait for it. There's the juggler. It's the famous symbol of the Odyssey. So 411 means it's looking for the first partition of the hard drive, and then you'll see it go 412, 13, 14, and then back to 411 real quick. That means it's finding all the partitions of the hard drive. So you can see it's counting through there. If your machine is stuck on 410 and won't proceed any further, that usually means you have a dead hard drive. So 9999, that means it's a normal boot up procedure. So it's booting normally. You see that the video RAM has cleared out on the screen. It's checking the bill validator. You heard that cycling. So now we're still waiting for the boot up to complete. And when it finally does boot up, it'll go to an out of service screen, because the machine is basically dumb at that point. It doesn't know what it's supposed to do, what games, so this is where we have to tell it what to do.
It seems your machine
when you get to this point, this is where you need to turn your reset key. So when you turn the reset key, that enters the MMS mode, which is where you change everything. The first thing you may want to do, if you haven't done it before, you can calibrate your touchscreen. You can calibrate the touchscreen by pressing that button, and then it asks you to touch all the points on the screen. So touch these, touch that, touch this. And if you're seeing black lines on this video, it's because of the scan rate of the camera doesn't match the scan rate of the CRT. To the naked eye, the monitor looks clean. So that's pretty normal when shooting a CRT with a frame rate that's different. So what you need to do is you need to go to the diagnostics, or sorry, the configuration tab here. If it's grayed out, like it is here, what you need to do is that means that either your currency coin door is closed or that this switch is pulled out. It's normally pulled out. So to get access to those two tabs, you just push it back in. Make sure it clicks and then comes back out. And now you see the tabs are available. You can also set the volume at this point. And their infinite wisdom, Silicon Gaming decided that you couldn't set the volume below 85%. So anybody that wants to set it below that, you either have to unplug speakers or install an inline volume control, which I've actually done on this machine. So let's continue with the setup. So hit the configuration tab. And we're going to go into the configuration. There's only a couple things you need to do here. You need to set up the money. Money just tells it what denomination the machine is. In this instance, it's nickels. Technically, the denomination does not matter in a home environment. It basically just tells the machine how many credits to give you when you insert a dollar. It really doesn't care. I mean, unless you're using the payout, you might want to set it to something smaller than what your actual hopper is. But on this machine, we're going to change it to nickels, because that's what the hopper is set to. We're going to continue there. So you can see it's already currently set to nickels. So it's set to nickels. We're just going to say save. And what it's going to do is it's going to set up the limits, tell the bill validator, set up all its limits, and then you just say OK. Another thing I like to do here is decide what's going to happen when you put credits on the machine. Technically, I always select coins go to wager until max bet, then to credits. And then the other thing I like to set is the credit limit, because in a home environment, more than likely you may go over 1,000. And And if that happens, it tries to pay out the balance from the hopper. And if it can't, it'll go into a service mode. And unless you fill the hopper and pay it out, you'll have to do a safe clear. So that's why I like to set this to a larger number. I usually set it to the maximum, which if it's nickels, you can set it to 60,000. It's basically a $4,000 limit. So with nickels at 60,000 credits, if you set it to quarters, you would only be able to set this to 12,000. If you had set it to dollars, you would only be able to set it to 4,000. So you set it to the maximum amount, hit accept. So now it's going to set the limits. So you're pretty much done there, setting the money and the credit limits. Now you need to select your games. So we go to the Games tab, and here you just go down this list and select which of the 6 games you want to appear on the main menu. So for this case, we've got a list of what we're going to select. So we're going to select Bananarama is the first one. So you'll notice that there's different hold percentages. What the hold percentage means is how much the machine will hold of your money over any given amount of time. So the higher the hold percentage, the less the machine pays out to the player. So if you want it to pay out more in a home environment, use the lowest hold percentage. That's how that works. The 2CB, 3CB, that basically tells you the maximum amount of coins that can be played on that game. So Bananarama, I usually choose the 3-coin bonus, or sorry, the 2-coin bonus, because the 3-coin bonus has a 12% hold. That's a pretty high hold percentage. So I usually like to go with the 2-coin bonus. The other one I'm going to select is Buccaneer Gold. So we can scroll down. Oh, scroll down a little too far. See, there's 2 Buccaneer Golds. So we're just going to go with a 3-coin on that one. Eureka, there's quite a few options for hold percentages on that. So again, we're going to go to a low hold percentage because we want it to pay out more. So Eureka. We're going to scroll down a little bit more. And sometimes you'd have to touch a little bit off where the actual scroll bar is. You'll have to play with it. You'll find the sweet spot. So the next thing we want to select is it's Phantom Bell, Riddle of the Sphinx. We're going to do Silver Bell Express. Now on the 15-game hard drive that I sell, there is a version of Silver Bell Express that has a minus 1,289% hold. That was used for demonstration purposes. So if you want an extremely high payback, you can put that on your machine. It's a great way to add credits if you want. You just play it and it wins almost every time. So, but if you want a normal payback, choose one of the other ones. So we'll just do we'll do like a 7%. That's a pretty good number. So you see we've got 4 games selected currently. We can do 2 more. Let's see what else we're going to do. We're going to do Vacation, which is another multi-line slot, kind of like Eureka. So we're going to make that a little higher hold. We're going to make that a 10% hold. We're going to make that a little bit more difficult. And then the last one of my favorites, which is why I got into become an Odyssey enthusiast in the first place, is Top Hat. In my opinion, one of the best 21 video games made. So you can see we've got 6 games enabled. We've set the denomination and the limits. We've selected the 6 games, and now we're done. So now we turn the jackpot reset key. So we turn the reset key. That's going to exit MMS. And if you get any type of door open messages here the currency column door, it sees it as open. Yeah, it's open, but it's actually looking at this switch. On some games, there is a bracket here. If you had like a player unit, that switch will close, and that will go away when you close this door. On other games, such as this one, you have to manually pull out this switch. So if you pull out this switch, you can see the message has gone away. Thinks the door is closed even though it's open. And there are the 6 games: Bananarama, Buccaneer Gold, Eureka, Silver Bell Express, Top Hat, Vacation. So now you just close the door, lift the latch, close it back down, and you're all finished. And that's how you do a full safe clear on an Odyssey slot machine.